Well, welcome, Christine. Glad to have you here. You are currently in our accelerator program and you're just finishing up the course, almost ready to launch. So we thought, why not ask you some questions and get some feedback? So welcome. First of all, what intrigued you to even look into this business when you first found me somewhere online in social media land? What intrigued you? What got your attention?
I think the biggest thing is when I saw it, I thought, oh, hey, I've actually used these things before. The very first thought that popped into my head was this was a no-brainer. Like, how come I never came up with this idea myself? So that just got the wheels turning right then and there on the spot.
Okay, so what would you say you were most scared about or most apprehensive about when contemplating whether or not you would join this program?
A few things. I have gone down this road a few times with other companies, I guess you could say. I have had a very successful business myself, so I know that it is possible to be able to run a business, but I've also done the MLM and, the whole Sensei thing, as we all probably do try at some stage. And it just was a disaster. Every single one of them was just, I put the effort in, I put the time in. I do honestly think it just takes a certain kind of person, perhaps. But the biggest thing for me, it was just, I'm super, super cautious. And the financial side of it, it's always, for me, it's thinking things out and how much is this going to cost? And can I believe it? Who is this person? So yeah, the typical things that I'm sure everybody says, yeah, I've heard this before. Here's another Facebook ad.
And so what got you past that when you learned about the total startup cost and the cost of just not your inventory, but of my program? What made you say, okay, I'm going to do this?
Honestly, it was watching one of your videos and actually seeing who you were. And I could see that they weren't, a lot of people tell you to go live and join my live, but in reality, it's a video that they recorded some other time. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure that out, right? I actually, I think I saw, possibly it was a previous video that you had, but I've also saw you live and I saw who you were. I felt that you were being very genuine. That was just a feeling I got. And the low startup cost. So that worried me though, because I thought, okay, what's she not telling us? And it turned out that you were actually telling us the truth and you were saying it as it is. This is probably one of the lowest startup businesses I've ever had.
Absolutely. And if you find one that is cheaper than this, then chances are it's not going to be a legitimate business. It's going to be something that makes you like $20 a sale. Big deal. Like our time is worth so much more than earning $20, $30 a sale. So you're absolutely right. It's very, very low cost in the grand scheme of things, considering that there are other businesses that are in the tens of thousands, starting for just a few thousand. It ain't so bad. So, okay. What would you say is the most favorite part of the program since you've joined it?
So I'm going to say two things. I had one thing, but now the way you just worded it, I have two things. Actually going through the course step by step. This is like, it's like Carrie's courses for dummies, I guess you could say, because I'm the dummy and I need someone to spell it out. I do work full time, so I'm super, super busy. And it's very easy to get very overwhelmed when you're trying to learn something new and manage your time. It was brilliant. I could literally just stop it when I needed to, start it when I needed to. I actually loved just doing the course. I learned a lot. Whether I remember a lot of it, I'll probably have to go back and rewatch the course several times when I need to. But the best day was when I got my bins.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us about that day?
Well, it actually just made it feel real. I actually got my bins, got them home, cleaned them like we're supposed to. And the very first, I had already had my labels. So the very first thing I did was whack my labels on both sides and was like, that's official. There's my bin. It just, I don't know, it just felt real. When you go along with the course, do this step, you're plugging along. It's like, okay, what's next? Yeah. it's not until you actually get your bins. And the very first thing I said to the guys at the warehouse was, oh my, that's a lot bigger than I thought. Actually
Yeah.
holding one in my own hands, I thought, wow, okay, yeah, this is real. So yeah, that was a pretty good day. And getting it home, cleaning the bins and putting my label on, that was it. Because now every time I walk past them, I'm like, oh, those are my bins.
Yeah, who knew that we could be so excited about a plastic box?
Well, it's the small things, right?
Yeah. So do you feel that you received good value from the program?
I sort of went back and forth while I was doing the course. I don't know. Was this worth it? Was it worth? You know what? Yes, 100% over and over and over again. Because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have done this. There's just a lot of other businesses that I've looked at in the past involve like digital marketing, and they say, oh, it's 90% done for you. Well, yeah, no, it's really not. And there was a lot of work. We put in a lot of work, but you also put in a lot of work to get us to the end. So do you know what I mean? Like I completely see the value. It's hard. It is hard to come up with that kind of money for anybody. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, what you're doing, whether you've got, a nice cushion in the bank. It really doesn't matter. It's always hard because you just never know what to expect. But when I went through the day I got access to the course and I actually pulled all of the steps down, I was like, holy smokes, that's a lot of stuff. And the videos aren't short, like they go into detail. I totally see value, 100%, compared to some things I've looked at in the past. I have the digital marketing business I had was over $10,000. I think I had to take a loan out for that. I ended up paying it off over a couple of years, and I wasn't even doing it. Like I hadn't given up, but I decided that it just didn't make me feel good. I wasn't getting that feeling that this is something I wanted to pursue. Whereas with this, from day one, I felt good. Haven't had any hiccups, haven't had any double thoughts, haven't thought, oh, should I really do that? No doubt whatsoever.
So why don't you explain the teaching style that you feel I have and whether or not that was a good fit for you and your learning style?
So I am a hands-on learner. I don't typically learn very well when people are talking at me. So classroom settings and lectures and stuff like that don't really work for me. So I was a little bit concerned. But what I did was I watched a few videos and I found out where I was struggling. And then you chimed in to say, don't forget, you can slow me down. So that's what I did. So even though sometimes you sounded like you maybe had a few too many drinks, what I did was I slowed the video down, and then I could actually follow along with you, pause it, do that step, and then unpause it. So what I was doing was I was listening to you, but I was also physically doing the action at the same time. So, and the fact that you can do that is brilliant. For me, it worked. So some people are okay that I'm going to watch the whole video and then I'm going to go back and do what she said. That might work for some people. It doesn't work for me. I really, at the end, I was doing this after work, so I really needed to just sort of shut my brain off a little bit. So it was like, okay, she said, do this, this, this. And when there were times that my screen didn't look the same as the program, because certain aspects do change over time, I was still able to figure it out because I could keep it paused. I'm like, okay, what did she say again? I would rewind it, listen to you again and go, okay, there's something here. And then that way it gives you time to investigate the screen. It's different, right? So it's like, okay, oh, here, this must be where she meant, and this is the updated version. So while I think going back and maybe updating some of the things, it's going to constantly keep changing, right? So it's too hard to stay on top of it. But I just love the fact that this would suit anybody, whether you're a hands-on learner like me, or you can actually take instruction by just listening and then going and doing. It would work for just about anybody. So it took me a little bit longer just because I had to keep pausing. But yeah, I just physically did it as we went. So that way I wasn't getting too far ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just did it as I was actually doing the actions as I was watching the videos.
And I think if I were in your shoes, that's probably how I would do it too. It's interesting when I'm just listening to something, if I'm listening to a podcast, I put on double time. I go on double time speed so I can consume the stuff quicker. But when there's action steps, yes, turning me right down makes a lot of sense. Have a side by side, like some people have an iPad right here with Carrie talking, and then they have their desktop here and they can actually work on it. Or you could split your screen and have me talking on one side and your screen. So yeah, you figured it out and you got through everything. Well, let's talk about that first of all. You are the first student I've ever had that blew through the course as quickly as you did. I would get it if you were retired or you only had adult children, but that ain't what's happening here. How did you do that? And tell everybody how quickly you were able to get through the 16-week course.
Gee, I don't even know how long it took me. It was a couple of weeks, I think 3 or 4 weeks. I think I've stopped at the pre-launch stage just while I tweak a few things, and I'm still waiting for the rest of my bins. But my launch is about 2 months ahead of time, I think. So
Yeah.
in all honesty, it meant enough to me to just focus on it. Other things can wait. You just had to find a balance. So I would literally log off of work and sign right into the course. I had it all ready to go, and I would just stop what I was doing, make sure everybody had their dinner, and log right in and start working on it until I pretty much couldn't stay awake.
Yeah.
And I did that solid just because I thought, well, it's better than dragging it out, because the minute you sort of sit down, if I was to move from my desk and go sit on the couch or go sit somewhere else, I wouldn't be getting back up again. So it was better for me to just keep at it. And now I can have my rest time. I can go back to socializing, and it really hasn't cut into my time at all. I guess it just depends on how important it is. I'm not a big one on excuses. Yes, life does happen. And yes, I was pulled away multiple times throughout the night, but you just get in there and get it done, right? It's not gonna get done for you. You actually have to put the work in. And while you do tell us step by step, and I found 95% of the videos that you do are all actionable, so you really do have to take action on every single video. It's doable. I mean, the longer you leave it, in my experience, the longer it's going to take you, and then you'll just find an excuse. No, not tonight. No, this and no that. Well, I don't know. And to each his own. Not saying anything that's right or wrong, but I'm just not built like that. I decided to take action, and the longer you drag it out, the longer it's going to be before you can launch and start earning money, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
the quicker I can get it done, the quicker I can start advertising my business.
Exactly. And it makes perfect sense. I've just never had a student do that. I think the quickest anybody has gone through it is 7 weeks, which I was already impressed with. That's like less than half, right? But that was great. So it was a great example to show people, if you're dedicated and if you're serious enough, you can launch a lot quicker than 16 weeks. The 16 weeks, the reason it takes that long typically is because the women have a full-time job, they have kids, but you have a job, you have kids, so you were able to figure it out. So if you hadn't have met me, but you did come up with this idea on your own, and let's say you started to work on it, let's just pick a nice easy date of January 1st. How long do you think it would have taken you to get launched? No mentor.
Over a year.
Yeah. Wow.
Easily. Even at all. I just, if I wasn't working full time and because my job is pretty full on, it's hard. It was a complete career change for me. If I didn't have any distractions, I would need help. I'd have to pay someone to help me. I am not tech savvy. Like a lot of women, I can't do that because I don't know about computers. It doesn't matter. Neither do I. And some days it is my worst enemy. But you make it so much easier to just follow along. I have never done a course like this where it was just so easy to follow along. I would say a year minimum, if at all.
Wow.
Knowing me the way I do, I honestly believe that if I had to do it on my own, would I do it? Probably not. If it was right now, no, I probably wouldn't. but it would be
Mm.
a minimum of a year, and then I would have to pay someone to help me.
Yeah, and it's not as though you have this lack of work ethic. That's clearly not what's going on here. It's just the lack of skill and the lack of some sort of a direction, not knowing how to put a website together, all that stuff. So that's interesting. Wow. So we cut down your time quite a bit.
I just think that when you get too overwhelmed with things, it's too easy to just push it aside. It's not worth it. And I'm not saying the course isn't overwhelming. There were sections that really tripped me up. But then you know that it's time to just get up and walk away. Maybe take an hour, half an hour, gather yourself, come back to it. And all of a sudden, or even the next day, and all of a sudden, oh, shoot, right, there's the answer right there. I just sometimes you either get too tired, you can't push yourself. And I luckily did the course when I was having a quiet couple of weekends. Right now, my weekends are full, so I'm glad I did it when I did.
Perfect.
But Saturday and Sunday, I just sit here for like 12 hours and just work on it.
Oh my gosh.
So I was lucky that I was having a quiet period.
For sure. And so now that you're very close to being able to launch full time. I know that you've done a soft launch so far, but you're waiting for the rest of your bins and then you're going to go full steam ahead. So how hopeful are you for your future?
I was thinking about this last night. I thought I am super hopeful. I see the benefit in it, but there's always that little devil that sits on your shoulder that says, "Are you dumb? Are you sure?" I am 100% sure. However, I can see all the benefit. I can see who I want to speak to. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. To me, it seems easy. Doesn't mean everybody else is going to feel the same as you. But I think if you still feel positive, I think I've seen other people in the course who have felt that as well. And it may have taken them a bit of time before they saw any results, but they saw the results eventually, right? So it's not going to happen tomorrow, and you have to go into it full well knowing. And that's what I love about the low cost to start the business, because if it doesn't happen right away, it's not going to break you. I do still have a full-time job. I am looking at this for a part-time. I'm not going to do this full-time. Yet. Maybe one day, But, I don't know. I feel really good. And so far, I haven't had any second thoughts.
Woo, awesome. And yes, you're right. That little devil on your shoulder, he's going to come. He's going to get right in your ear one of these days, and just got to push him aside, not listen to him. So knowing what you know about the business and knowing what you know about the program, who do you think is best suited to take this program?
So I thought about this, and I'm actually not going to say anybody, because I feel like anybody could do it, but being through the businesses that I have in the past and some of the information I have found through the course and just the information I've gathered, I think it still does take a person that has a little bit of drive, though. Like, they want to succeed. And if they understand that it's not going to happen tomorrow, even if they take 4 months or 6 months to finish the course, it's not going to happen the week you finish and the week you launch. So you have to be in it for the long game, right? So I'm going to say that if you're super busy and you don't have the time to commit to it, probably running a business, no matter if it's this or any other business, probably isn't something for you. I know that there are some little quizzes you can take online for free to see if you're suited to work for yourself, and not everybody is, and that's okay, because it leaves room for other people to do other things. But I think you have to have the desire to succeed, maybe the desire to help your family. For me, there's a few reasons why I'm doing this, so it's not just one reason. I told my boss when I took my job that, no, don't worry, I'm done with having my own business. Well, that little entrepreneur in me just wouldn't let it go. So yeah, I took 3 years off, but that little devil just kept saying, no, you can do your own thing. I tried not to listen, but I think you just have to have the right mindset that, and you're not somebody that maybe just wants someone to hold your hand. while you do tell us exactly what needs to be done through the course, it is still a course, and this is still going to be your own business. It's not a franchise. So
Right.
you can't expect that yourself, Carrie, is going to be at every single turn, and you don't need to try and figure things out for yourself. Because if you're constantly leaning on someone else to give you all the answers, what are you going to do when the course is finished and you're on your own? And, you know, so I do think it takes a certain type of person, and that's okay. That's okay. But I just think being in your own business isn't for everybody. Again, you have to have the time to commit to it. You have to have the will to want to commit to it, and the desire, really. There are key things there that you just have to be able to commit to it.
And you know what, I've had at the point of this video, I've had about 80 students go through the program so far, and I've had all kinds over the years. You know, some need a lot of hand holding and ask a question every 5 seconds, and it's my job as a coach to say, have you tried to work this out on your own yet, or you just, you know, came to what do you call it, I got to a wall and said, Carrie, help. Right. So I'm always trying to encourage people, at least try on your own, because you're right. After the program's done, Carrie's not here. So, and other ladies have asked me, well, can't you just do my website for me? I'm like, what's the point? Because later down the road, when you want to expand, or you want to change your pricing, or you want to accept new orders, you're not going to know how to do anything. So that's why I do the majority of the hard work. And then the last 20% of the website's up to you. And that's where you customize things and really get to understand the back end of a website, which is very important. And so I guess for you, when you first started this program, it was like this massive maze trying to figure out everything. But as you've worked on it over the last several weeks, I would hope by this point now you're feeling much more comfortable inside WordPress, and you know your way around enough to get by, right? Is that how you'd feel?
Yeah, for sure. Some days I feel better than others. It just depends on how busy I was at work. But I just love the knowledge that the course is there for me when and if I need it, and all I have to do is do a couple of search words. But you know, you learn so much as well. Even if you don't follow through with the business, I think just the course itself is still worth it, because who's to say you don't apply those skills into maybe starting up a business later on down the track? Could be something else. But yeah, the wealth of information, and you know, I've heard of ChatGPT for years. It is now my new best friend.
I know.
Because I had no idea, and the amount of stuff that this thing can do, it just blows my mind. I use it almost daily now. So, and I use it for work as well. So,
and it's in its infancy, right? Imagine us talking again in 5 years, even how much it's going to change. Oh, it's crazy what it can do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
So why don't you tell everybody the name of your business and where you're located and how to find you, if ever anybody wants to check out your site?
Yeah, for sure. So I am based in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, and I don't have a lot of competition. My business name is Durabins.ca. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, obviously the website. I'm on LinkedIn. I think I'm on most of them except for TikTok. Didn't go down TikTok or Twitter. I didn't even know those were still a thing. I know TikTok's more for kids, I think, but I didn't know Twitter was even still around. I thought that was like an 80s thing or something. But yeah, so I'm there. I'm trying to post. I'm still getting the hang of it. Instagram has got me beat right now, so that's something I may have to learn, do some courses on how to do Instagram, because I'm completely 100% lost there. It's no wonder it took me so long to do it until I got this course. People seem to be finding me, but I'm like, oh, didn't even know you were on Instagram. So yeah, if you're not on Instagram, you're not there. So you got to be on Instagram, apparently. Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, so that's me.
Awesome. Well, I'll include the link in the description so that people can check out your site and hopefully rent from you if they're local to Calgary. Any final thoughts, anything you want to say, or any words of wisdom you have for people that are looking into this business?
You know, I'm going to say this. I am a huge skeptic, like big skeptic. And I was still skeptical of you and everything else a couple weeks into the course, but that's all been canceled. No, I have done the whole roller coaster ride with the course. I'm so glad I did it this way. Like, so glad. I've learned a lot. I have learned a lot from you. I have learned a lot from the other ladies. I have learned a lot about myself, even though I thought I knew
Mm,
it all. Yes.
mm,
Um, I just have enjoyed the whole experience. I
mhm.
sort of maybe a little bit wish I hadn't gone through it so quickly. It was not intentional. I just I just kept plugging away at it. I think that
Yeah.
if you're on the fence, just do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you know what? At the end of the day, the cost involved before you get your bins, just the startup,
Mhm.
it's worth it.
Mhm.
It's worth the investment because you're going to learn a lot. And then you're going to
Mhm.
learn whether this is something that you want to do. A lot of people wonder, should I start my own business? Would I be good at that? And this will actually quickly tell you maybe whether it's something that you should pursue or not. And
Right.
it's a small price to pay for that knowledge. And this is coming from somebody who has had multiple businesses, one very successful, but that was my own business. But yes, going through other people, none of it has ever worked, except this one is going to work. Um,
Mm.
and you're not really linked to you. Do you know what I mean? Like those other businesses stayed linked to something, whether like especially through
Mm.
MLM, you stay linked. Whereas this
Yeah.
is your own business, guys. When you're done, it's
Mhm.
your baby. You do whatever you need to do with it, and you go off and running, and you know
Mhm.
it's yours. You're not really linked to anything anymore, so it's you can make it what you want. But yeah, I think if people are on the fence, ask the questions. Carrie is extremely transparent and open and real, and just do it. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you. You're only how many more weeks until your big launch?
2 weeks till
Two
the
weeks.
proper. Yeah, yeah.
And just because you finish the course quickly, you still have me for the remaining weeks up until 16 weeks. So you've got lots of carry left here to help you. And you're at such an advantage because most people don't have that, right? They might take the full 16 weeks to get their business running. So you'll have lots of support, and we're all definitely cheering you on. You've been wonderful with the other ladies, always cheering them on too. So anyways, I appreciate your time today and wish you all the best with your business.
That's great, Carrie. I appreciate you.
Thank you.